Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the noise to bring you the insights that matter. And today, we're really going deep, literally. We're looking at the unseen world of underwater connectors. Okay, let's unpack this. We've got this really comprehensive report here focusing on the global market for these things. Our mission really is to look at the trends from 2021, see where things are heading for 2025, and then project out all the way to 2033. And spoiler alert, the growth is pretty surprising. We want to understand this expansion and what it signals for global connectivity, defense, energy, you name it.
Right.
Just to give you a starting point, the global market was, what, about $1.1 billion in 2021?
Bridge over.
Right. And it's expected to hit nearly $1.53 billion by 2025. But the really big number, the projection for 2033, almost $2.91 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, more than doubling that 2021 figure. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 8.4%. Pretty healthy.
Yeah, 8.4% CAGR globally is substantial for any established market. And what's fascinating here, it's the sheer scale combined with how essential these seemingly niche components are.
Exactly.
As you said, they're foundational. They literally connect critical operations under the sea.
Yeah.
You think about global communications, deep sea science. None of it happens without these robust connectors. They're sort of the unsung heroes down there.
Unsung heroes, I like that. So looking at that big picture again, nearly tripling in value between 2021 and 2033. It's huge. So here's where it gets really interesting. Why? Why this rapid expansion now?
Well, the report points to a few key things.
Okay.
Technology is a big one. Connectors are getting better, tougher. They can go deeper, handle harsher conditions. That opens up new areas, basically.
Areas we couldn't really access before.
Exactly. Then there's increased offshore activity. Not just oil and gas, so that's still a major driver, but also, deep sea minerals, big pushes in offshore renewables, scientific exploration. And finally, just the sheer demand for more and better subsea communication. Internet traffic keeps exploding, plus defense applications are growing too. It all needs reliable connections.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, the listener, what does this really mean on a practical level?
Well, think about it. Your internet connection. A huge chunk of that data travels through subsea cables held together by these connectors.
Right.
Those amazing deep-sea robots exploring hydrothermal vents. They need power and data links. Offshore wind farms, powering cities, same deal. Oil rigs. Absolutely essential.
So it's not just numbers on a page.
Not at all. It's like the literal nervous system of our connected world pushing further and deeper into the oceans. It signifies a much more complex reliance on the marine environment than maybe we realize. It touches almost everything.
That nervous system idea really sticks. Okay, so we see the global trend. Let's dive into the regions. Where is this growth strongest? We'll start with the more established players, North America and Europe. Okay, North America. Valued at, let me check, over $421 million in 2021. The projection for 2033, over $1 billion. That's a solid CAGR of 7.7%. Steady growth. Yeah. The U.S. is the biggest slice, obviously, projected to hit over $713 million by 2033. But what caught my eye was the momentum in Canada and Mexico. Canada's CAGR is projected at nearly 8.8%.
Right, and that's interesting. The report suggests Canada's stronger growth, relatively speaking, might be linked to increased activity in the Arctic, resource exploration, communication networks up north.
Ah, okay. Specific drivers there.
Yeah, perhaps distinct from the U.S. market, which is, more mature, more diversified across different sectors, maybe still growing well, but maybe not that specific Arctic push.
Yeah.
Mexico's growth, around 8.1% CAGR, is also pretty strong, likely tied to energy sector developments.
Okay, interesting. Let's hop across the pond to Europe. It was over $336 million in 2021, heading towards almost $868 million by 2033. The average growth there is actually a bit higher than North America, over 8.2% CAGR.
Yeah, a bit punchier overall.
And the UK really stands out. One of the fastest growers in Europe, projected CAGR over 9%.
That is significant. And Germany's not far behind, over 8.6% annual growth predicted.
Right. Then you've got France, Italy, Spain, all showing pretty robust growth, sort of in that 7.5% to 8% range. Russia's a bit lower, around 7.5%.
And it's quite a spread, isn't it?
Yeah.
The UK's high growth, as the report hints, seems heavily influenced by its big investments in offshore wind and marine science.
Yeah.
Very specific national focus there.
Right.
Then you see Switzerland with the lowest CAGR in the data set, just over 5.6%, which might reflect, different industrial priorities, less direct offshore exposure perhaps. It shows how varied the picture is even within Europe.
Definitely. You also mentioned Sweden, Denmark, Luxembourg.
Yep.
And the rest of Europe category actually has the fastest regional sea TIJAR in Europe, nearly 8.9%. So lots happening beyond the big names, too.
Absolutely. A lot of specialized marine tech coming out of Scandinavia, for instance.
Okay, so that's the established markets. Solid growth, but varied. Now, let's shift gears to where the report sees, and I quote, extraordinary promise, Asia Pacific and Africa.
Right. This is where the numbers get really eye-popping in terms of percentage growth.
Exactly. Asia Pacific generated over $213 million in 2021, forecast for 2033, over $615 million. That's a CAGR above 9.3%. Really strong.
Very strong.
China's leading the charge in value and also has the highest AGR within the region, over 9.6%, projected to hit $260 million by 2033.
Massive market.
But look at India. Starts smaller, about $11 million in 2021. But the projection, over $35 million by 2033. That's the fastest growth in APAC, a CAGR over 10.4%.
Wow, over 10%. That's exceptional.
Right, and Singapore's not far behind, over 10.1% annual growth. Japan, South Korea, Australia also really solid, mostly in the 8.5% to 9.2% range. Southeast Asia as a subregion also growing fast at 9.7%.
So a really dynamic picture across Asia Pacific.
Right. And then Africa. This region is just, wow, valued under $41 million in 2021, expected to jump to nearly $140 million by 2030.
More than tripling.
Exactly. And get this, the CAGR is over 11.1%. That's the highest regional growth rate globally.
Incredible.
Within Africa, South Africa leads the pack for growth rate, highest national CAGR in the entire report, almost 11.6%.
That's huge.
Nigeria is also a major player, $18.5 million in 2021, projected to over $60 million, with a CAGR over 10.5%. And the rest of Africa category is also growing incredibly fast, over 11.5% CAGR.
So this raises an important question, doesn't it? Why such explosive growth, particularly in Africa and parts of Asia Pacific, compared to the more mature markets?
Yeah, what's driving that double-digit growth?
Well, it seems like a mix of things. In Asia Pacific, you've got huge investments building out new internet infrastructure, connecting rapidly growing economies.
Yeah.
Plus, big pushes in offshore renewables.
Okay. Catching up and building out.
Exactly. And in Africa, the report points to new oil and gas discoveries, particularly off West Africa, but also, crucially, a fundamental need to build out subsea communication links, where, frankly, the infrastructure has been lacking.
Right? Starting from a lower base in some areas, but the need is massive.
Precisely. So these regions aren't just playing catch-up. They're becoming really critical hubs in the global subsea network. And that implies huge potential for innovation, maybe even new applications tailored to their specific needs.
A real global shift in the making. Okay, let's quickly cover the other key players to complete the picture. South America and the Middle East.
Right.
South America stood at nearly $49 million in 2021, projected to hit about $120 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of almost 7.9% solid.
Respectable growth.
Brazil leads there, growing at over 7.7% annually. Argentina, Colombia, Chile, others contributing too.
Primarily energy sector related in many cases, I'd imagine.
Seems likely. Then the Middle East generated over $45 million in 2021, projected to grow to over $126 million by 2033. That's an impressive CAGR of nearly 8.9%.
So faster growth than North America or South America on average.
Yeah. And the UAE really shines here, one of the highest growth rates in that region, over 9.3% CAGR. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Qatar also showing strong growth figures.
And again, you can see specific drivers. Massive energy infrastructure, both existing and planned, lots of subsea pipeline activity, plus significant investments in regional communication networks.
Right.
So while maybe not the explosive double-digit growth of Africa, these regions are still vital strategic markets. They add depth and diversity to the global picture. It really underscores how interconnected this all is.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean, wrapping it all up? This deep dive really shows a consistent, significant global expansion for underwater connectors.
Yeah, undeniable growth.
We're seeing market values essentially doubling or even tripling across nearly every region between 2021 and 2033. And it's more than just numbers. It's a clear sign of massive global investment in that hidden subsea infrastructure. It impacts everything, you know? Global communication, national defense, the shift to renewable energy, scientific discovery. It really is foundational. So thanks for joining us on this dive.
Yeah, it's been fascinating. And maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on as we surface from this. We're seeing this huge technological push deeper into the oceans, this expanding nervous system. At the same time, there's clearly increasing geopolitical focus on maritime zones, resources, strategic routes, military presence.
Right. You read about it all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how might those two trends, the tech expansion and the geopolitical interest, interact in the coming decades? How could it shape the future of ocean exploration, resource management, maybe even conflict? These little connectors, they're right at the heart of that complex, evolving picture. Something to think about.